Yes, you can get your stuff from there.
Me, Alice.
Okay. Please, can we unmute our mic? Tanisha, can you please mute your mic?
Plus, even though pay when they get into analysis, this network is taking me.
Tanisha, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. We are sorry for the late start. We're having network hitches. We believe that we'll be able to pull through. So far, if you have been following the course content, we've done the first 3. Yeah. We've done introduction and navigation, although we've not finished the tabs, but if you excellently practice the home and the insert tabs, you should have a lot of knowledge already about Excel. So today, yesterday we saw Excel for business owners, and then we saw how you can, although I did not really show you because Clinton will be showing you next week, but I did show you yesterday how data was entered for a Mexican store, and we ended at the level of pivot table. There is also an additional thing that we could do. We could create a dashboard. All those things we were doing yesterday about analyzing the total revenue, the job with the highest sales. You can create a dashboard and produce charts that answer all those questions, okay? And then as you are entering your data in your Excel sheet, the dashboard is automatically updated. And so each time you want to see your results, you don't need to go back to pivot tables and begin to sort as we did yesterday. You will simply go to your dashboard, you go to the data tab, you click refresh, and then you just choose whatever you want to see. So you're going to see that next week with Clinton. That's why I did not go further to do dashboard, because it is not part of this module. All right. That's why you see that the word automation may not have been covered fully, but then when you have the course, the module for next week, you're going to understand what automation is in Excel. So today we are going to briefly look at how students can enter their data in Excel, because most students do not know how to enter their data into Excel before giving to their data analyst to maybe export to SPSS for data entry, for data analysis. So I think most of us here are also researchers. So we'll briefly look at this, and then we are going to look at some templates. Excel has a lot of templates, okay? If you want to track your monthly budget, you don't need to go and build something new. You just need to be smart enough to get a template for that, and you just enter your data, or you modify it a bit. So we'll look at a few of them, and then we are going to have question and answers. Then for time-saving tips, these are mostly shortcuts, which I can always give you maybe a PDF of 1 or 2 pages where you can see shortcuts like the one we've been seeing: Control S to save, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control Z to undo, Control Y to redo, Control T to create a table, Control F to find, and all that. Control H for H lookup, Control V, and all that. So let's quickly open a blank Excel sheet, and then I am going to show you. So this, what I want to do now is mostly going to help those who are into research. Since in this course, we have people from diverse background, we have students, we have researchers, we have data analysts, and we have humanitarian workers, accountants, many others. All right. So I believe you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, just give me a thumbs up. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, just react in the chat, but just react using the react button. Now react with your favorite emoji. All right, Fedora. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, so because we want to finish this module in less than an hour, I will not open a questionnaire to show you, but we all know that before you go in for research, you must have a research protocol where you've outlined how you're going to carry out your research, and you have the research methodology and the way you're going to conduct or to gather your data, whether you're going to do it through a survey, through a focus group discussion. I think Clinton will mention this next week when he'll be doing dashboard. How to create a database, he will briefly mention the various sources of data collection, focus group discussions, surveys, online surveys, experiments, interviews, and all that. So most students do surveys by coming out with questionnaires, and they go outside and meet the audience, the target group themselves, and they give them the questionnaires to answer. Or some can send them online through Kobo links, Google Forms, and people will fill it and they will get their data. So most of that data is quantitative data. Of course, when you begin SPSS, those who will remain and continue to do SPSS, we're going to talk about data types of analysis, quantitative, qualitative. I'm going to talk about all those things when we're doing SPSS. So, but you know that in research, the very first thing that you do is to collect the socio-demographic characteristic information of your study participants, right? So, which has to do with, since we don't take their names because it's confidential, we take the sex, the age, level of education, marital status, religion, and then you can go further to ask questions about your research. All right. So when you collect that data, how do you feed it into Excel so that it will be easier for your analyst to analyze? So what you do is that you open a blank Excel sheet, and on the first column, column A, you write serial number. Okay. I'll explain to you why you're writing the serial number, because you have to number your questionnaires. All right. And then what you do is that each column now in Excel becomes each question in your questionnaire. For example, if your first question was sex, that will be the first column here. Okay, and then you will summarize it. Since Excel doesn't have to take long, very long stuff, you can summarize it. Sex, age, maybe level of education. Instead of writing level of education, I can just abbreviate as LOE. Then you can have marital status, you can just abbreviate as MS, and you can have religion, right? Then maybe you are working in sociology, you're working with maybe stress. Maybe you can ask, were you happy yesterday? So you can just say happy. Maybe there's a question in a questionnaire that asks like, were you happy yesterday? So you have to abbreviate that to maybe just say happy yesterday. Instead of typing were you happy yesterday to make it very long, that will cost you take more space. You just say happy yesterday. Maybe you ask a question about, do you have a sexual partner, or how many sexual partners? All right. So this will how these questions are coming from your questionnaire. Okay. So what you do is that you type like this in Excel, and then you begin to fill your answers. Okay. So you just type like that right through. And then this serial number, that means you have to number your questionnaire. So you take the questionnaire and you use your pen and you write questionnaire number 1, number 2. In beginning with any participant, just number them. Maybe you have your sample size was 100, you just number. Okay. So I'll write questionnaire number 1. So put questionnaire number 1, and then you can just do the data coding automatically, because when we hear about data coding, we think that it's very difficult, but it's actually very easy. I think I'll share a link to a comprehensive video on data coding for those who are interested to follow through. But what you can do is that you can go to your questionnaire and you say, okay, for sex, we have just two sex, right? Male or female. That's why sex is not gender. Sometimes we confuse. Gender is different. Gender is broader, like it's more broad, okay, than sex. Gender you can have transgender, all those other things. But sex is genetic. It's either a male or a female. So you can choose to abbreviate male as capital letter M and female as capital letter F in your data entry. The thing is that you must be consistent. If you choose to use capital letter M, you should use it throughout. Or you can choose to give numbers or call data coding. You can choose to give 1 to every male and 2 to every female. Okay. So if this questionnaire number 1 was a male, I will simply come here and write 1. Okay. Then age. Now this age depends on how you categorize. If you categorize it in your questionnaire, like maybe 0 to 18, 19 to 25, if you already put it into groups, fine. You can still give it codes. You can say the first one is the first one, maybe 18 to 24 is 1, 25 to 34 is 2. So if this person is 33 years, it means the person falls in the age group 25 to 34, which is 2, according to what you have given. That we want to decide the codes to give. Okay, so let's assume that it is the person has 33 years and falls in the age range where the code is 2. You just put 2. Level of education, you can say primary is 1, secondary is 2, tertiary is 3. So if the person attended secondary education and maybe ended at lower sixth, most of us always add high school. But in research, high school is still secondary education. There are just 3. It's primary, secondary, and tertiary. Tertiary means you went to the university. So if the person had maybe ended school in lower sixth, for those in the Cameroonian education system, then it is secondary education, which is 2, according to your code. Then for marital status, maybe you choose to give 1 for single, 2 for married, 3 for divorce, 4 for widow or something. So maybe the person has never been married. So the code is 1, depending on how you give it on your questionnaire, right? Religion. Most of us in Africa, we have Christianity and we have Islam. So you can have 1 Christianity, 2 is Islam, and 3 is maybe others, because you want to group, maybe you want to group Judaism into one other, and put them under others, right? So if the person is a Muslim, it means the religion is Islam. So you write 2. Most students always put under religion, they will put Christian, then they will put Muslim. Muslim is not religion. The religion is called Islam. Okay. Then a Muslim is a faithful of that religion. Just like the religion is called Christianity, and a Christian is a faithful of that religion. Then if this question was yes or no, were you happy yesterday? If the person said no, maybe you give the code 2 or the code 0, depends on what you choose. Maybe the person said no, I wasn't happy yesterday, and your code was 2, you give 2. How many sexual partners do you have? This one is strictly mathematical. It can be 0, 1, 2, 3. Maybe the person has just 1 sexual partner, which is maybe the person's boyfriend or the person's husband if the person is married. So you have these codes like this, and then you feel right to the end. You come to questionnaire number 2. Let's say this one is a female, which is the code 2. The person is in the age group maybe 34 to 40, maybe it's 3. Maybe it's the person wants university, tertiary education. The person is married, maybe you give the code 2 for married, or maybe the person is a widow, the code is 3. Religion, maybe it's a Christian. Happy yesterday, maybe the person was happy yesterday, 1. Maybe no sexual partner, right? So you say that when you do your data coding, all we'll see on your Excel sheet will be numbers, a series of zeros, 1s, 2s, 3s, and like that. So how will you tell your analyst? You simply tell your analyst that, or you simply snap that your questionnaire where you're using those codes and you send to your analyst. Because the analyst will not know that these 2 means a particular age group until you tell him or until you tell them. Okay? So when they export your data to SPSS, they will tell SPSS that this 1 means male, this 2 means female. You understand? All right. So this is how you do a data entry for your questionnaire in Excel before you take it to SPSS. For those who have qualitative data where you have participants writing something, not like they were responses, they have to just tick or check. They write something. Maybe you ask an open-ended question. For that one, you actually type what the participant said. Okay. So maybe there was a question like maybe feeling. How do you feel maybe about the political status of, for example, Uganda? And the person maybe writes something like, I feel happy about it. So maybe you can just summarize as happy. Okay, summarize as happy. Maybe the next person feels comfortable. Maybe just summarize. Maybe the person writes a long thing, and then when you read it, what you can summarize from it is the word comfortable. You write it. So you just write this one. This qualitative data. Okay. So at the end of the day, you will discuss with your analyst how this will be analyzed. He can analyze it, or he can tell you how to analyze this one. And then for some people who do research and it's strictly qualitative research, you cannot do this kind of coding. You simply upload maybe your focus group recording or your responses to a different software called NVivo, and then you can group it to themes and you can transcribe and all that. All right, so this is how you do your data entry for research. For those who are students and researchers, you do like this, and then you can export it to SPSS or any other software, APinfo, R, Python, Stata for analysis. All right, this is mostly for social sciences. For those who are into the economics world, you don't need data coding. Also, you simply go to you get to some of this government websites, download your data from there, and then you just export to Stata and begin to run your time series stuff and all what you guys do in economics. All right, so that was it for the students, academic research stuff. Just to open your mind to this, very important, very, very important. So the next thing we're going to do is the automate the templates. Okay, we're going to see some templates. So we'll still be here. I'll still show you how to do that here, because sometimes you might need to do something and you don't really have time to create from scratch, like Clinton, who is an expert in creating things from scratch. You may want to get an already created templates and just enter your data. So we're going to see a few examples. Let's say, for example, you want to do a monthly budget. Maybe for yourself, for your kitchen, maybe you're a housewife, you want to do your budget for the month and you don't have a template to use. So what you do is that many of us don't know this trick. So I'll show you guys today, okay? You open your Excel sheet like this one, you come to file, all right? And then you click on new. Can you see that? You click on new. And then you can just type monthly budget, right? You type it, you must be online. Then you search. You have to be connected. You see, Excel gives you a series of templates for monthly budget. So let me take the simplest one. The first one, personal monthly budget. We have the one for the company. Even if you're working in a company, you don't need to go crazy things from scratch. Monthly college expenses. If you run a school, monthly food budget. Okay, let's take this one because this is for, let's try two. We'll take personal budget. Okay, so let me click on it and I take create. So you download the template for me. Say downloading your template. So great. This is it. It has been downloaded. I don't know if the screen is shared. Let me just share that screen. All right. So it has been downloaded and it opens automatically. I hope you can see the screen. So and it says create a personal monthly budget in this worksheet. Helpful instructions on how to use this worksheet are in cells in this column. Arrow down to get started. So this is the heading, personal monthly budget. Then we have projected monthly income. Maybe you earn a salary of $4,300 and there's an extra income maybe through additional things you do. Maybe you have additional skills in data analysis like me, and you analyze data for students and you have an extra income. And so you project that at the end of the month, you're going to have $4,600. Okay. And how was it done? When you click on it, look at your formula bar, you see that this was done by summing C5 and C6. And this is C5, this is C6. So the projected income. Then the actual income. Now, this actual income is what you actually have at the end of the month. Okay. So you expected to have this, but maybe for your income, something happened and maybe you were having some extra benefit of $300 and you didn't have that. My network is unstable. I don't know if you can hear me. So maybe you ended up having $4,000 for income, and the extra income you still had your expected income. And so you ended up with $4,300 for your actual income. So projected balance, I think this should be calculated from somewhere. If I click on it, look at a formula bar, it says C7 minus J73. So where is C7? This is C, and C7 is actually your projected income. Okay. Then where is J73? You go to J73. Let us see what it is. You see, there's a lot here. J73 is total projected cost. All right. So you actually do your monthly budget, and then you're going to have results automatically. So your projected balance is actually what you wanted to have at the beginning of the month and what you want to spend minus what you want to spend. So if you take what you wanted to have minus what you want to spend, you should have your projected balance. And the actual balance is actually what you had minus what you spent. Okay? And the difference is this one. And when you see any data in Excel or in accounting with these braces, open and close braces, know that it is a negative. So it means that you have spent more than you projected. Okay? All right, so let us look at the tables. What do we have? Projected cost, actual cost, and difference. So let us see what was that. So you begin with housing. So this is a simple. You can use this. Okay, if you're renting, you can use it to track your income. It's very important because most of us say that we are broke, but we are not actually broke. We are not just coordinated in the way we spend our money. You know, a lot of money. If you want to prove me right, okay, you want to prove me right. From today, begin to track how much enters your account, whether through mobile money or whatever. Begin to track it from today to next week, and then you track how much goes out. You'll see what I'm talking about. A lot of money comes in and a lot of money goes out. But if you can track your monthly income like this, you become more coordinated. So let's say for housing, you estimate, your rent is already stable. My rent is 50,000. So I'll know that my mortgage rent is 50,000. So I'll put it here. All right. And when my salary comes and I pay my rent, I'll come and put the actual cost 50,000. So there's no difference. Then phone, that's for internet also. You can estimate that if I'm using 500 francs for those who are in Cameroon, 500 francs is about $1. If you're using $1 every day, it means in 30 days you have to use $30. That's how you project your costs. And then at the end of the month, you should be able to write how much you actually spend for internet. Maybe you spent more. You write it down. This Excel sheet will actually give you the difference, whether you spend more or less. So this person spent more. He projected $54 and he ended up spending $100. All right. So the difference is what? A negative. Electricity. Maybe you're using a prepaid meter. You estimate how much you pay. Sometimes I used to pay up to 10,000 per month. That's 10,000 francs in francs CFA. It's about how many dollars? Not to put in calculation. Because $1 is roughly 650 francs for those who are in Cameroon and other West African countries who use the franc CFA. So 10,000 divided by 650 is about $15. Yeah. So I only use $15 for prepay. So sometimes you do, maybe I spend less, you just feel. So this is what you think that you're going to spend. Then at the end of the month, you write what you actually spent. And this will give you the total. If there's something else that you want to do that it is not in this sheet, you simply add your row as you saw, right? You just come here, you right click and you take insert. All right, there are refused that you cannot insert from this one. That's very refusing. So this might be a block template. Then that's for housing. You come down to entertainment. All right. Maybe you pay your TV subscription. For those maybe you also use how's they call that? The Canal Plus. Those who use some of those TV subscriptions, you write how much you want to spend, and then you write how much you spent. CDs, movies, those who do Netflix, you put everything for entertainment. And then the next section for the budget is there a next section? Transportation, voila. Vehicle payment, taxes as bus fare. It's very, very important. Loans. Maybe you have a personal, maybe you want to take something on credit, maybe for student loan, maybe you have a loan that, you are paying. Maybe you have a credit card, something like that. A simple template like this, insurance. Maybe you have a car, a home, maybe you have to pay insurance. How much do you want to spend today? Like those who are in Cameroon, there's what they used to call PEFA and some of those insurance companies where you pay something. So you might estimate what you want to pay, and when the month ends, you write what you actually paid. Taxes, federal tax for those who are in the US. Maybe this one is for maybe you have a business person, you pay taxes, maybe there's income tax on your salary and things like that. Then you come to food. You have groceries, dining out, and others. Then you have savings. You want to save maybe 5,000 for a retirement account or for investment. So if you don't do like this, some of us don't even save. We keep on saying that I'm working, I'm not saving money. It's because you are not coordinated. You are not. You don't plan. You don't budget. So this template, you should download this template. Everybody download this template and begin to use. And after 2 months, you give us your testimony that you will be able to save some money. Good. The next thing is pets. For those who have pets. I don't like pets. I don't like pets, cats, dogs. Those who have pets, you have to buy them food, buy them medication if they are sick, things like that. If you have them, you can project their own cost, you can spend on them. Maybe you want to give. So sometimes, like I was saying, that money comes in and goes out because sometimes when people just call you from the family, from everywhere, friends, younger ones, oh, I don't have this problem, you just send money. You have to budget for gifts and donations, people, even in church. If they have to, I'm sorry for those who are pastors here, but if you have to budget that this month, I'm not spending more than 15,000, for example, in church. If the contribution comes, we are spending from that 15,000 that you are budgeted. If you do like this, you will see yourself saving a lot and it will help you a lot. So you budget how much you want to spend for gifts and donations. Charity work, maybe in church, for orphanages, and maybe to younger ones, to your parents, how much you give to your mom, to your dad. That should be budgeted. It should not just be like it is a wake-up call. They just call you and you just spend money. If not, you will keep working and you will never have anything in your bank account as savings. Personal care. Now you need to keep some money for health insurance for yourself and your family. If your daughter falls sick today, can you be able to take that take her to the hospital without borrowing money? That must come from what? Your medical insurance. So you budget everything. Legal. Maybe you have a lawyer. Maybe you have a lawyer. You have to pay him, right? So when you estimate all of this, and at the end of the month you write all you have spent, you are going to have your total. This person even had a deficit of $41. So when you do this, you can actually save a lot. Okay, it doesn't make you stingy. Instead, when you give out money a lot, you are stingy to yourself because you don't save anything. Your kids can fall sick and you don't have money to take care of them. Your mom can fall a very difficult sickness and nobody to help. So you should be able to budget how you give money out. Let people say that you are stingy. That's their problem. All right, so we have seen this template. You can download it. Let's look at one other template. I hope it's making sense. You see that a template that has already been built for you, right? You don't need to. You don't necessarily need to go around building from scratch. So let us go back to our Excel sheet and see it and see the next stuff. So we're back here. I hope you can see that. And then you say file. You come to new. What do we save? It was personal. It was monthly budget also. Monthly budget. That's what we typed. Monthly budget. Then we took search, right? So when you search, next one that I was very happy with, that caught my attention was this one. It's beautiful, right? My college budget. If you're a student, okay, let's try this one. Click, and then take create, and then it downloads. Like I said, somebody's mic is on. We're recording this right. So when your mic is on like that, it gives a lot of noise to those who will be following the video later. So please ensure your mic you're muted. Someone's mic is on. You only unmute your mic when you are called to unmute when you have a question. All right, so that has been downloaded. Let me share that screen and then I show you. These are tricks that many people who use Excel have never even known it. Never known these tricks. All right, so where is this? Where is it? I want to share. All right, so my college budget. Let us see this one. My college budget. So we have the green color. We have the green is the income left. Maybe your parents give you money at the end of the month if you're a student. And you don't just go around buying things for your friends. If you want to be responsible, you must start by knowing how to budget. So the green color here is what is the income left. Is this orange is the monthly expenses, and this one is the semester expense per month. So you can come in monthly expense. There should be a sheet where you should put these ones, right? Voila. So this is just a chart that Excel that they have created for us, but you enter your data inside this table. Fixed income, maybe every month your parents give you $1,500. Financial aid, maybe this one comes from your uncle. Loans, if you take credit from your friends, those who are around borrowing money. As students, you are borrowing money. Whether you want to borrow the money and do what to, you put it here. Other income, maybe people see you and give you something. Your aunts, your friends' dad, they dash your money, you put it there. So at the end of the month, you have something like this. So how do you spend it? You have to pay your rent if you're renting as a student, utilities like electricity bills, water bills, you put everything. Cell phone, you need internet, groceries, you need to buy some fruits, some tomatoes, some stuff for your kitchen. If you cook, some students don't cook at all, they buy from the road. Or auto expenses, student loans, those people whose money you borrow, you have to pay back. Credit cards, if you have insurance, if you don't have anything, just change and put zero here. If you're using this template, then semester expenses, maybe you have to pay photocopying, you have to pay a tuition fee, you have to pay some of those stuff. You put them at the end when you just put them here. But a very simple template. Okay, you just come up here and then you'll see how much is left. So by the 15th of the month, if you're left with $0, that's your business. So we must be able to budget. All right, guys. We have just a few minutes to go. Let's look for one other. In fact, let me send this screenshot. Let me send this screenshot in the group so that you can see those who do projects. You can actually get a Gantt chart, a template for a Gantt chart. You don't necessarily have to do building a Gantt chart. So let me share this. So, like I said, I have network hitches. I actually went a bit for a few seconds. I went offline, but I'm back. So I've shared the various templates. That's for now. There are more. Okay, you can just if you want to create any template, if you want to get any template of your choice, you can just search online. How to get a template for whatever you want to do. So what I've shared, I think what I've shared has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, yeah, I've shared seven ways to have 7 different templates. Or you go to Excel, open a new sheet, you go to new, you go to search and you search it. So the next thing I want us to see is before the Gantt chart, for those who are accountants in the call, those who do invoices, maybe you want to create an invoice and you don't know which way to get a template for an invoice, right? So let us see that one. All right. So let us come back to this our sheet here, and then we come to file. We come to new. Remember that it's new, and then when you click on new, you click here. So let's say we want to search a template for an invoice. You are working as maybe a finance clerk somewhere or as an accountant, and you need to create an invoice for your products, and you don't want to be from scratch because you don't have the time, you don't really have the skills to be from scratch. You come here, Excel, new, search invoice, you search. Then if you're online, of course, your computer must be connected online, guys. That's the rule of thumb for this particular one. So you see, it all very beautiful templates. See, very beautiful templates. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So you choose the one that you like. That's so beautiful that you can even get confused. Let's just take the first one. Take create, and then it opens, and then let me share that screen. So we're rounding up already. Let me share that screen of the invoice. Yeah. So share. I hope you can see the screen. Let me reduce so that you can see well. So this is it, which means you can actually customize this for printing, right? So when you do that, you have your company logo, which you can always insert it here. Company logo. So it's when I click on it, it's taking me to that particular website. So they're actually doing their marketing. Now, wow. All right, no big deal. You can always remove that. You can remove all these things because when you click, it takes you to the website, like the company which built that particular invoice. So we can delete also. We can delete. I just click here and I took delete. Then you right click here and you take delete as well. So that goes away. So this is the invoice. You come here and you can now change it to your company's name. Maybe it's Earth Analytics. I just write Earth Analytics, and then here I write the address of my company. Then I'm billing it to Clinton. Maybe I'm billing to Tango Mall. I just write the person's name, their own address, the invoice number, the date, customer ID, the terms. Maybe it's due upon receipt. When you receive this invoice, then you pay. That's what you may due upon receipt. Then I come here and write all the items I need: quantity, unit price, amount, and there's already a formula here to calculate everything for you. Okay, so maybe let me just add one service. Maybe data analysis. Maybe data analysis, and maybe 2 projects, and those 2 projects were $100. No, one is $50. No, one is $100, and then at the end, as I just put 100 here, automatically this one appears because there was already a formula, right? The formula is if I round up, so it's rounding everything up, and we're having negatives and all that. This one is new client discount. Maybe Clinton was a new client, and so I gave him a discount of $50. And that one is an expense at my end. So that's why you see it in braces. I've told you guys that when you see anything in braces now in accounting, that is a negative answer. So they must know they don't put negative in accounting. They actually put the thing in braces like this. So when you do at the end, you come here, you have your total automatically calculated for you. Tax rate, if there is no tax rate, you can put 0 here. If there are no taxes, you put 0. You see, as I put 0, this thing changes, right? If there are taxes, maybe taxes here is 4.2%. Maybe in Cameroon, it's 2.5% for the taxes for this invoice. You put it. Most often, we don't have tax when we are giving invoice in Cameroon. So it will be 0 and then 0, 0. So that's it. Then you can just take a file, you say print, then, this is it. Perfect. PDF, you just print. Can you even see what I'm showing? When I take file and print, did you see that? Let me share that so that you see what I'm saying. Where is that? Is this what? No. Maybe you saw it. I don't know if you saw that. But when I took file and took print, voila, this is it. Let me see. Where is this guy? Share. Where is it? Voila, let me share. So when I took file and print, this is what you have. You see a perfect PDF for you to print and give to your clients. If you have any questions about this invoice, please contact this, perfect. And I've shared in the chat box the other ones that you can check. So lastly, let us do the one for humanitarian. We have been doing health and finance. We have not done one thing for humanitarian. They might get angry. So let us do it for them so that they will not get angry. Right, my humanitarian friends. So let us go back to our main guy here. All right, and say we come back to file, we come to new, Then we take, maybe you want to do a Gantt chart. You're writing a project and you want to do that Gantt. How is it spelled again? How is it spelled? Let's see. For those who write projects, you know what Gantt charts are also. Project planner, very important for project managers. Let's take this first one. And then we're rounding up. It's already 9 p.m. So we're rounding up. So you click on create and then automatically it is downloaded for you. So let me share that. Share project planner. So when you plan this in your office, everybody has a task. Nobody is saying that nobody is idle. Everybody should have a task. So this is your Gantt chart, right? So we have the activity, the plan start date, the plan duration. Duration is in days. Enter plan duration period in column D, starting with cell D5. This is D5 here. All right, actual start, then actual duration, percentage complete. So when you're managing a project, you have activities, right? Maybe sensitization, printing of documents, seeing stakeholders. You plan all your activities. Activity 1, 2, 3, 4. You write them. These things are actually activities. You write them here. Maybe this one is maybe you have to design M&E tools, right? For example, designing monitoring and evaluation tools. Maybe that's your first task. Maybe meeting governors, meeting the governor or meeting stakeholders, informing stakeholders, about, maybe you have like sensitization, maybe building of Kobo, that's under M&E tool. Maybe you have activities like this, right? So you plan to start it here. Say enter plan start period in column C, right? That's all right. So you plan to start it on day 1, and you plan that it should take 5 days, and then did it actually start on day 1 or you started on day 2? If that's what this one means. Actual duration. So you plan that this will take 5 days. They actually took 4 days, maybe 4 hours. So what was your percent complete? This percent complete, I think you are the ones who put it so far. So far you have to estimate how many percent has it been completed? No, yes. Maybe this one is now 50%. And as I put 50%, automatically this one is changing. Can you see that? If I change it to 100%, the day we finish it, I'll come here and put 100%. Can you see that? It changes to 400%, and it took me 4 days. But if it took us more days, maybe it took us 7 days, I'll put it 7 days. As I put 7 days, do you see what happened? Project managers, when I put 7 days, this color up to 5 days is this purple or what color? Then the extra days are in orange to show you that you went above your how they say it. You went above your deadline. So you already start seeing this as a project manager, that you have to start being, prioritizing and streamlining processes. If not, you always finish things after the deadline, and that's a problem in project management. If you cannot finish, they always say that the holy trinity of project management is what? Time, scope, and budget also. So they should the project should take the required budget, finish, the scope should be completed at the right time. The holy trinity of project management: time, scope, and budget. So this is how you manage it. Informing stakeholders had to take maybe 7 days, maybe 1 week, and maybe ended up taking you guys 12 days. You see, as you put it, everything is being arranged for you as a project manager. You don't have to build this yourself. You have to just download it and start using, right? Okay. So that is it for today. We're going to general questions and answers. So if I share the course content, you will see that we are actually at the last point of this module. Where is that? Yeah. So we have done the time-saving tips. We have seen templates. We are now on general questions and answers. So thank you all. I'll give the floor back to Clinton.
Hello, Edwin. I'm here. All right. So we have come to the end of module 1, and so far so good. It's been a great session beginning Friday. So now, I know Edwin has been very fast today, and we have had to learn how to actually automate and create our dashboards, being able to manage our own systems by our own self. But now, if you actually missed out from the previous days, please just stay connected. And as the class is going on, we are going to be giving practical sessions such that we will be able to pick up. The recordings will be shared in the group. So before I take much time, I would like to hear from us if you have some questions or clarifications to be made for today's class. Let's kindly get that before we can proceed. So the floor is open. If you have a question, please kindly unmute yourself and then you talk. Please, are there any questions, or we actually understood everything that was taught today? If you have questions from Friday to date, please feel free to ask. If you watched the previous videos and you had some clarifications to be made, please kindly unmute your mic and talk now so that we can clarify them. I don't know if anyone can get me. It's silent.
Yes, Clinton, I can hear you. We have just 9 of us. So if there are no questions, I think we can call it a day. We share the recording in the group. There were many people who had network issues today. I believe so many other people will watch the video, and if there are questions, they can put them up in the group for us to check out.
Okay, thank you so much. And we wish to also plead that this course is actually free, and connecting at 8 p.m. and not seeing people connecting is really discouraging. If you can share the link with others so that by next week we have more participants. By week 3, we are not going to have new participants because this is actually going to be the core of the classes will start from next week. So please, if you have any other person that you can recommend them to have the class, to take the class, please share the link, place the link on your status so that others can actually join and actually gain from this great experience.